if you have a loved one that is in a coma, there is a connection, and always know that.
Thank you for saying that. I think that many of our viewers will find that comforting. No question.
Yeah.
Many people do have loved ones that are in that kind of situation.
Yeah.
And I personally feel very comforted by these words that you just said. Steve, after listening to your story regarding that very traumatic incident that you overcame, I can certainly see why you felt compelled to write The Way of the Invincible Warrior. Could you please let us know a little bit more about the book itself, how it came to be, at what point in your life you decided to actually put, you know, pen to paper, a little bit about that?
Well, you know, I certainly didn't set out to write a book. I certainly didn't set out to be a speaker, personal development, you know, expert, specialist, motivational speaker, inspirational speaker. It wasn't really my thought to do that, but it just somewhat began to became that. And then so many people said, well, Steve, you've got to write a book. You've got to write a book to share with people what it takes to actually be an invincible warrior, to overcome and achieve in their life, no matter what the circumstances are, no matter what those mountains are, those hills are in life. So I said, all right, well, I'll write a book. And then, yes, I put pen to paper. And I didn't do it on, you know, with my fingers. I actually wrote.
Oh, so it was literal pen to paper.
Well,
That's
I finally
amazing.
put it on a data process.
Well,
I finally
at a
did that, of course, but
yes.
it was, I had that connection with pen to paper.
That's wonderful.
You know, creating the book.
That's wonderful.
But the thing about the book, you know, I wasn't somebody that read all these, you know, personal development books, inspirational books, self-help guides, business books, entrepreneurial books. I didn't read all those books in my life. It wasn't part of my life. And so I really wasn't intimately familiar with all the writings.
Right.
But I came a little bit more familiar, but I just wrote my book from what I knew. Subsequently to writing my book, I found out about all these other books in this area of writing. But the book I've written is a very direct book. It even says it's a tough love philosophy for overcoming an achievement.
Exactly.
And it's a tough love book. It's a direct to the point book. Like, this is what it takes, this is what you've got to do. If you need a roadmap, if you need a guide, if you need something that's a flagship, if you need a beacon of light to get you there, like what it's really going to take as far as 8 pillars in the book of those principles. You follow these principles, you do them step by step, not just, you know, having good thoughts. And I believe in prayer. I believe in, you know, divine intervention, serendipitous things in life. I believe in all these great things, these masterful things to help your life. But I also believe in practical application. And if you want to make a miracle happen, you need to have some action towards that miracle. That's what I believe. And I go through all the steps, 1 through 8, of really and truly understanding what it means to want something bad enough. People talk about purpose, they talk about your why, and this and that, but you kind of keep it simple. If you believe that you know you've got something that you want bad enough, you will find a way. Ask a lot of people, they'll do that. I also come from a sports background. You did mention a few things about sporting things. And there's metaphors to that as far as overcoming and achieving in life, you know, that people can relate to. You know, when odds are against you, you come back and you overcome. And so my directness comes a little bit from that sports background too. You know, because I was a coach a long time ago as well, football coach. My younger days, I finished my collegiate, you know, football career. I became a coach and, you know, coached championship ball club. And so I'm direct. I tell it like it is. I'm fair. I'm honest. But at the same time, people have to step up in their lives. Even though I know people need care, they need nurturing, they need love, which is the most important word in the world. But the second most important word in the world, at least in my definition, is balance. And a part of that balance is, hey, we can love you and we can understand you and be tender with you, and we can, you know, have compassion and empathy and understanding your situation, however someone may be down. But there's the other side of balance. It's called personal responsibility, self-reliance, what people have to do in their lives to overcome and make it happen. It's pretty much on you. And so that's that directness that I have in this book. Pretty much the theme all the way through, where you've got to stand up and be accountable. So much.
Well, that's what I liked about your book. What I enjoyed the most is pretty much what you described as tough love. I like that you do not coddle the reader in the sense that you would say, oh yes, just be yourself, be positive, and everything will sort itself out. No,
Right.
you take very practical steps toward a very specific goal, and as you very rightly mentioned, that definitely must come at least partly from your sports background, where if there's no effort on the part of the athlete, it's not a matter of just thinking, okay, I'll win. No, it's
well,
definitely action.
There are fundamentals in life. Yes, when you talk sports, I don't want to talk about sports so much, but in sports you do fundamentals. You practice drills, you repeat, you practice, you go over and over, and it's embedded within you. So the response is automatic when you have to respond. Whatever the event, whatever the circumstance, situation may be, whatever the game may be, whether it's tennis, whether it's basketball, football, baseball, whatever it might be, soccer, whatever it may be, or football, whatever it may be in the world. You got to have fundamentals. But the thing that I find out so much, and let me say this, I coach CEOs, I'm a corporate turnaround specialist within my consulting practice, with other things that I also do within my consulting practice, sales leadership, life leadership. What I find out with men and women that are titans of an industry, I still find out that they themselves fail in fundamentals. So clearly, individuals in life, people fail in fundamentals so many times. And so this book goes through those step by step as far as the wanting of something bad enough, the finding a way. Don't worry about how you're going to do something. Just know that you're going to do it and know that you're going to get there. Right. Let this how part take care of itself. And then, of course, there's this issue of self-belief.
Yes.
This issue of understanding what fear really is that paralyzes people. I found out a little bit about fear. I thought I probably knew a lot about it by the time I was 27, overcome so much that I had already overcome in my life at that point. But when you're paralyzed in a foreign country in a hospital bed, and you're alone, you do ponder a few things in a different way. I didn't go to the mountaintop and ponder with the universe. I didn't go to an oceanside and listen to the waves crash and think about my life. I'm in that circumstance, and I'm not saying I was the only one that's been in those circumstances. There have been a lot of men and women in circumstances far worse than that, and they've had to ponder their place in the world and what they're going to do, and the fear that is just paralyzing their bodies, that is just encroaching upon them, crushing them. And how do you overcome what fear really is? And I found out fear is not real. Fear is quite simply all those things that you put in your mind of what I can't be. I can't do this. I can't do that. They won't love me. I won't get that job. I'm not successful. I'll never succeed. All these things that we're putting in our minds that aren't real. And so I got a very clear understanding of what people meant. Well, fight fears. Forget about your fears. Fears are fraud. I had heard all those words, but when I finally got it clearly in my mind as I was there paralyzed, alone, I thought, what am I doing? Everything I'm doing is I'm here paralyzed, but I'm paralyzing my mind at the same time. I said, it's over. No more. I'm not going to self-sabotage and stop my life. The fear was done. It was over. I'm not saying I'm not a human being that still doesn't have uncertainties in life, but so much about fear that I've moved that out of the way. And most people also should. I can say that. So I found out about fear and how to overcome fear. Things that would never happen in your life at all. You just fear about them. Now, danger is real. You should be careful. You don't want to do foolish things. And you can be scared about some things. Right. But I'm not talking about those things. I'm talking about just these fears that you put in your head.